The stats page on this website tells me that most of my small audience is Irish, so let's talk about slavery in terms of the Irish. That's always a fun topic. Obviously, Ireland spent hundreds of years under the yoke of English oppression and all that. Once we got out from under them and became a proper state, we had to establish firmly who we were. We weren't a nation of subjugated workers and maybe slaves anymore, after all. So, what were we? The Irish literary revival was concerned with figuring out an idea of what exactly Ireland was. Essentially, it was a reaction against negative stereotypes. They resented the idea that they were just idiot rural drunkards, so they conceptualized Ireland as a country of poets and scholars. A lot of effort was put into connecting the then present day to the old mythology like Fionn and the Fianna. While De Valera and his peers were drawing up the constitution, Bunreacht na hÉireann, other thinkers were concerned that this national identity only went skin deep. The writer, whose name wasn't Flann O'Brien, directly parodies the obsession with the old mythology in his very odd novel At Swim Two Birds, which he wrote while the constitution was being drawn up. Essentially, he was concerned that the radical socialism of the Easter Rising was being abandoned, as De Valera was instead trying to make Ireland the same kind of state as England. All that was changed, he feared, was the symbols on the hats of the oppressors. Has this come true? It's a complicated topic, but I would cautiously suggest that there isn't a huge difference between Leo Varadkar and Theresa May. I was shortlisted for a 2016 Hot Press writing competition, and a lot of the other entries focused on comparing 1916 Ireland to 2016 Ireland. There was a prevailing sense that we're somehow letting down Padraig Pearse. We feel disconnected from what Ireland is supposed to be, whatever that is. But we felt disconnected from that 100 years ago as well. So, is there any way to connect to it? I was put forward that our national identity is that we're a subjugated nation that got a leg up relatively recently, and should now help other people that are down on their luck, to put it mildly. Just as subjugation under the English wasn't ended by home rule concessions, slavery around the world wasn't ended by abolition. What kind of slavery exists today? Well, some forms it takes include women forced into sex work, people forced to work in agriculture or factories, and children in sweatshops producing goods sold globally. According to Anti-Slavery International, many families are forced to work for nothing to pay off generational debts. Girls are forced to marry older men. There are over 40 million people in modern slavery around the world, according to Alliance 8.7. 10 million of those are children. Almost 25 million are in forced labour. Over 15 million are in forced marriage. Almost 5 million are in forced sexual exploitation. These problems aren't going to be solved by assuming the system is basically functional and making small tweaks. The system as it exists is built on modern slavery. If slavery is ever going to be ended for good, it's going to be because we tackle the root causes. Anti-Slavery International has published an anti-slavery charter listing comprehensive measures to end slavery, including the criminalization of all forms of slavery, protection of individuals from slavery, and advancing access to decent work. You can donate to Anti-Slavery International in the link in the description. Shout at me in the comments if I forget to put that link down there. And also to Amnesty, I'll put a link for that too. Amnesty also do a great deal of other important work in Ireland, such as supporting the repeal of the 8th Amendment and helping to free Ibrahim Halawa. Obviously I can't speak for everyone, but it feels like the main defining characteristic of being Irish is feeling vaguely like you're not truly Irish. The particulars of our history broke that chain, but as painful as that history is, it's shared. While the so-called Beast from the East hit a few weeks ago, a lot of people in Galway and elsewhere braved the elements to bring food and shelter to the homeless who were stuck out in the cold. Maybe that's who we are. We could do worse. Thanks for watching. Be sure to dislike this video if you hated it and leave your thoughts in the comments above. Thanks to all of my patrons on Patreon. If you want to throw some money in my hat, then you can do that at patreon.com/loafers. Sorry that I haven't made a video in a little while. I've had some stuff going on. A close friend of mine had a bit of a mental health episode and I had to look after them. And also there was a death in the family, so I had a list of priorities and youtube.com was somewhere further down. But I have been keeping up to date on WordPress. Thanks again for watching. See you around.